Many of you might know the words from this video come from the Old Testament. God is speaking through a man named Ezekiel and basically telling the people of Israel that he will revive their nation so that they may know him, the one true living God, and be faithful to him again. But you might be asking the question, why are we in the Old Testament tonight? This is about you for Christ. Well, this might mean something both for you and for me. For me, it begins, I grew up going to church most of my life in a good, healthy, solid home. Mom, dad, 3 other siblings. You know what? And I did a lot of religious activity. I call it the big 3. The 3 reasons why I went to a lot of fun youth groups and stuff like that was 1, pizza. 2, girls. And 3, because I had to, because my dad was a pastor. That would look real bad, wouldn't it? But to be honest with you guys, I didn't know Jesus on a personal basis. In fact, I knew something much more important at the time than Jesus, and that was the game of basketball. And I rode that wave of basketball throughout my high school, leading into my college career. Went to Miami of Ohio, me and my twin brother, and we played basketball there. And tell you what, when we started my freshman year there and my sophomore year, I was the big man on campus. Man, I had a strut. And I kind of talked like this, yo, 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 what's up? You talking to me? Who do you think you are? Yeah. That's how I kind of talked. It was all about me. And you know what? Through the game of basketball, I started getting a lot of attention from girls. And I started watching a lot of inappropriate videos and doing things with girls that I never thought I'd be doing before marriage. I started getting into the club scene and getting drunk almost every weekend and throwing up that night or having the hangover afterwards and just going down a downward spiral in life. I cussed like a sailor, wasted my time focusing on all kinds of dirty music, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. And then my sophomore year, I was having the best career of my best season of my life so far, starting in my sophomore year. I had a knee injury. I blew out my knee. I began to question to myself my purpose. I started not to have the life that I thought I did. And then by my junior year, the things that I was involved in just didn't satisfy me anymore. Left me feeling shame, confused, and really struggling with what is life all about? Because if it's not in this, where's it going to come from? It was like I was missing something inside, and I couldn't put my hand on it. And I about wasn't ready to turn to God for that. And then there was a guy that slipped a book to me my junior year. And the book was called Case for Christ. I remember reading this book in my dorm room, flipping through the pages and just digging in deep. It was all about Jesus and him being a historical person, his life, his death, his resurrection, all these things. And eventually came to a part in the book. It quoted 1 Peter 3:18, "For Christ died once for sins, the righteous for the unrighteous, to bring us to God." And in that moment, I can't tell you what happened. All I knew is that this Jesus, first time in my life, was real to me. He was real to me. And for the first time, I actually felt alive myself because of him. The cross that I heard all throughout my childhood finally made sense. I saw my own sin laid before him on that cross when he died, and he just breathed new life into me. I started listening to worship music, and my brother's just confused. He's in my dorm room, and I started listening to worship music, and he's just, this doesn't make no sense to him. Michael W. Smith and DC Talk, stuff that you used to hate. I started obviously not going into the clubs anymore, hanging around a different group of people, Christians, going to church and starting reading my Bible and having a hunger for God's word like never before. The whole drinking thing eventually vanished. My cursing stopped like that. I started having a love for people. And I realized in those moments of starting to love people how self-centered I was before I knew Jesus. And there came a point in time in my life in which I was dating a girl at that time when these changes were happening. And she goes right up to my face and she says this, "I want the regular Tim back and not the Christian Tim." I was blown away. And to your surprise, we eventually broke up off of her statement. But I realized after she said that, there was now a new peace in my heart. There was joy. There was forgiveness. There was real purpose living inside of me that I had never experienced before. It was impacting people like that girl. As I reflect on my story and what Jesus did in my life during those moments, there's a man there who gave that book. His name was Steve Newman. And he was part of a ministry called Athletes in Action. To be honest with you, I avoided him as much as I could on campus. Here comes Steve. Here we go. Can't catch me. But he kept loving me, pursuing me, reaching out to me, sharing Jesus, inviting me to the different ministry events. He was, to me, a life giver. He gave his life and shared Jesus with me because he loved me. And the theme tonight is give life. Give life. And all of you here tonight can give life to a teenager.